Hello my fellow crafters. Today I am going to show you 3 different wire weave techniques. We're going to do the basket weave with just 2 wires this time. In a later video I'll show you how I use 4 wires for the basket weave, but I really only use that in particular type for when I'm doing a fancier or heavier duty bale. So that will be in a much later video, not 100% sure when, but it'll be down the line. So to get started, we are going to get our 2 base wires. And we're going to do a simple figure 8 or basket weave. And to start this out, I'm going to bring my wire up between these 2 wires. I always start out, or I try to always start out with the wrapping wire on the inside of 2 wires because that'll help to pinch it into place, along with when you wrap it, it'll stabilize it there too. So you have 2 points of stabilization. And the other reason why I go up instead of down is because I like to have any loose wires up top away from the skin, just in case, because even if you have a really nice pair of flush cutters, or if you wiggle it off, sometimes you might still get a little tiny bit of a pokey bit that you just cannot get to. So like I said, I like to have this away from the skin. So we're going to hold that into place and go ahead and wrap our base wire. We're going to go ahead and just wrap it 2 times so that we can get it started into the weave. Now we're going to start the beginning of this with the 2 base wires close together, just to see how to do the figure 8 weave with the 2. So now I'm over here, I'm going to come over and I'm going to come through, like I'm going to wrap a 3rd time. And then I'm going to bring my wire up over the top wire and then wrap it around 1 more time, just like that. And then I'm going to bring it back down through. So it's going to be a back and forth, just like this. And you can do this. You can go around each base wire 1 time or as many as you would like. We're going to do 2, 3, and then 5. And I'm just doing the 2 to get started on this bottom part, and once we start getting up to the part where the wire Y's off, then we'll be adding in the 3, and then we're going to do the 5, just so you can see this spatial difference, or potential spatial difference, because your wires are going to look different than mine because we are using a different gauge. So it's just that simple. I'm catching all my other stuff off to the side here. I'm going to have to move that over. Now that I'm going to be getting to the part where it starts to Y off, I'm going to go ahead and start doing my 3 at a time. So there's 1, 2, 3. And the reason why I want the 3 is because I want a little bit of opening between each wire that's in between to start to open it up. But I have this around here once, twice. We're going to go for a 3rd time, just like that, and then come back over to the other side. So 1, 2, 3, and we're on to the other side. 1, 2, 3, and on to the other side. Now we're going to go up over 1, 2, 3, over to the other side. 1, 2, 3. Now this is ideal for a fancier bale, but it's also good for using as kind of a catch cage for cabochons. And that will be a video for another day though. So we got 1, 2, and 3, back over and under. 1, 2, 3. So as you can see, that's starting to Y off, and you can see that figure 8 really showing out. So we're going to Jump over to the other side now, and we're going to go ahead and go 5 this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're 5. So we're over to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Back over to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to take it back over here to make it a little bit more evened out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that was where we would finish off. Just like that. Now see this part here, it's going to be towards the skin, but then again with the bail I would curl it in and then it would be on the inside of the bail anyhow, so that part wouldn't matter because then it would be away from the skin. Now if you want to do something a little bit more unique, you can actually use a heavier gauge wire like this 12 gauge here and a heavier gauge weaving wire, more like a 22. I usually use a 22 for this project. I'll make a bracelet just out of that figure 8. Sometimes I might put a little bit of beads on it and whatnot. Once again, I will make that bracelet for you in a later video if you're interested. So that is our figure 8 or our basket weave. Now, the basket weave is usually more base wires, and you're not going to do all this weaving here up top. You're just going to get your weaving at the bottom and weave your figure 8 up and around and through each one, and then until you're back down to the bottom one and weave it around that way. But this here is the one that I use predominantly, whereas the other one I don't use hardly at all because to me it doesn't seem to latch on very well, and it's not very consistent. It's kind of more of a sloppier look usually, which is fine for some people, but it doesn't fall in line with my style of work, so I don't generally use that. Like I said, I will show you how to use the 4 wires together with a more dramatic like this and the other way in a later video, and how I turn that into a bail. But for this one, I just want to show you the basics for it so that you can start to do this. This does take a little bit of practice, not only with the number count, but also keeping these wires where you want them. So whenever you're working on it, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, occasionally you have to go back in and kind of make sure your wires are still where you want them to be. You also have to remember that you have to be consistent on the pressure. You don't want too much pressure. You don't want too little pressure. It's kind of almost like if you're trying to crochet or knit something, you have to have the same pressure holding that wire, or I'm sorry, you have to have the same pressure or the same resistance when you're working with that yarn to keep the gauges of your stitches at the same size. It's essentially the same thing with this. You have to find that consistency where you're not being too tense or too slack. That's what's going to take the most practice, is getting that tension correct. But practice makes perfect. I should say practice helps a lot, but there's no such thing as perfect. Just do your best. That's the main thing. Do your best. So there we go. That is our figure 8, or I would honestly say modified basket, considering the fact that I'm not doing that part the way a typical basket weave would be. All right, so let's move on to our 3 base wires. We're going to set that off to the side. Get out our 3 base wires. Now these 2 stitches I'm going to leave on the same wire so I can basically start it and then keep going with it without having to start over. So first we're going to lash all our wires together. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and use my ring clamp to help hold on to these wires. I mean, if you're working with smaller wires, You don't necessarily need a clamp or anything. It just helps to get you started. And with the larger wires that I'm using, they're a lot wonkier and they get a little fiddly. So to keep them in the spot, I'm going to use my ring mandrel. And if you are interested in ring mandrels, I do have a link down below for them. If you're not, you can just, like I said, hold them in your hands or use painter's tape or another type of clamp. So I'm going to start by wrapping that up and around and go up in between our second and third. I'm basically doing a modified sumac to lash all these together. And I'm going to go up between the second and first and then back over the second and third to go between the second and third, up over the third, back behind the third and second, and between the first and second, and down between the second and third, and up over the first, and down between the first and the second. And that's going to lash them all together, so I don't have to worry about them so much. Now, if you're interested in seeing this sumac weave again, I'm going to link the video down below so that you can go check that out. Now, moving on to the zipper. Now we have our wire down at the bottom, the start of our very first wire, and we're going to come up over our first and our second, and we're going to go down between the second and third, and then back around to the bottom wire. So we're going to go up over the first and second again, and down through the second and third again. Now you can do this as many times as you like down this way. Just keep your numbers straight. Remember your numbers. But I'm going to come up between the first and the second. And I'm going to go over the second and third and back around and come up between the first and the second again. And repeat that. Now I'm going to come back behind all three wires. So now I'm back down at the bottom. And I go over this, the first and the second, and down between the second and third. We're going to do that 2 times. There's 1 and 2, just like that. So now I'm going to come back behind the second, up between the first and the second, and come up over the second and third, and down back behind the third and the second, and up between the first and the second. And we'll repeat that 1 time. Now I'm back behind all 3 again. Bring it all the way down to the bottom, up over the second or first and second, and between the second and third. I'm getting a little too rough with my wire. Not rough. My tension is inaccurate, so now I'm making them too tight, which is bringing the base wires closer together, making it harder for me to get it through. This is why one of the reasons why you have to pay attention to your tension. I'm going to go ahead and take that ring clamp off now because I no longer need it, because my base wires are right there. And you just want to keep repeating this until you have the length that you want. So I'm going to go just a little bit further before we start the other weave and give you a chance to practice the weave. I'm used to working off the spool, so I don't have that long tail flapping all over the place, but I chose just to snip a piece off, and now I've got wire just flipping all over the place, catching all kinds of things that it shouldn't be catching. So this here is our zipper stitch. All right, so now we're going to move on to the graphic weave, which we're actually going to move on from this piece here. So I'm actually going to add on, we got 2 on there already, so now there's 3. We're going to go 4, and 5. So basically I went from one weave straight into the next. So we have our wire wrapped around the first and second wire 5 times. Now I'm going to take it, and we're all the way down at the bottom again, and we're going to take this wire and go all the way over all 3. We're going to do that 3 times. Just like that. Now we're going to come up between the second and the first and the second, and we're going to go up over top of the second and the third. Now, as you can tell, this is kind of like the zipper stitch with a little extra detail to it. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, we're going to go back behind and around all 3 wires 3 times. Now, as you can see, this is very slippy slidey, and most of that is because of the size of wire that I'm using. It's not going to act the same way on a smaller wire. But for this demonstration, we're worried about the technique, not the look. So now we're back down to the bottom again, and we're going to go up over the first and second wire. We're going to do that 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're back down at the bottom, and we're going to go up over all 3. 3 times. 2, 3. Now we're going to go back behind the second and third, come up between the first and the second, and go around those top 2 5 times. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. And then around all 3 times. Just like that. Now I am going to have to end it here because I'm running out of wire. So I'm going to end it the same way as I did the other and use the modified sumac. So I'm going to go up. And this will lock them all into place. That'll finish our stitch. Now please keep in mind, when I did the 3 and the 5, you don't have to keep those numbers. You can use whatever numbers you want for the look that you're going for. Okay? With wire weaving, it's not like a scientific project. You don't have to have it 100% accurate. You just have to have it 100% the way you want it to be. Now, one thing I do suggest, though, regardless of whatever weave that you're doing with the numbers, if you haven't noticed, I try to stick with odd numbers other than this zipper one here. I really do try to stick with an odd number because the human eye is naturally attracted to patterns with odd numbers in it, like 3, 5, 7, 9. Anything like that will help to draw the eye in. And with things like jewelry or even decorative items with a pattern on it, if you're trying to get people's attention, you're going to want something that they're naturally going to be drawn to. And like I said, odd patterns are a natural draw for the human eye. Well, thank you for joining me today for this tutorial. I hope that it helped you in your journey. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, I'm happy to hear from you. In the meantime, happy crafting and have a good weekend. Bye.